What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I don't know, like, legitimately, if Ethan Klein is trying to destroy his reputation entirely, if this is a calculated move to, like, distance himself from free thinkers and plead for acceptance to this new kind of, hyper progressive woke crowd. But I think he thinks it's 2016 because last night he put out a tweet, very dramatic tweet, very big decision for Ethan Klein to delete two previous interviews he did with Jordan Peterson because, in Ethan Klein's words, he is a gateway to the alt-right. I'd be willing to bet very large sums of money that Ethan Klein could not even define what is alt-right or have any clue exactly how many people would even self-identify as that without significant Google searches or help from his buddy Hassan or group chatters Reddit. I don't understand what he thinks he's going to gain from all of this. It certainly isn't working out well for him on Twitter, as he's lost since last night nearly 1,000 followers. This has been basically, he's been on an unhinged rant for months. He's losing 150 followers a day. I'm sure he doesn't care. He's lost 600 today. If we look at this, it's 444,446. Whoa, lost another 600. Whoa, lost another. What, did it just go up? No, it went down again. Oh, went back up a little bit, and it'll probably go down a little bit. I don't think, look, Twitter followers are generally irrelevant in terms of the determination of your reach. It's the interactions that really matter. It's like people that look at subscribers on a YouTube channel, not views. I guarantee I would happily trade 1 million subscribers for 100 or 200,000 views on every single video. It's about reach. That was kind of clumsy, but you get where I'm going. So last night, this article, cowardly YouTuber Ethan Klein deletes interviews with Jordan Peterson to appease woke audience. YouTube's biggest coward, Ethan Klein, ought to delete his channel. This by, I'm not reading this article from this grifter. I'll read this article. Jordan Peterson schools Ethan Klein on cancel culture after YouTuber deletes videos. You will be held to higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you, Dr. Peterson said. Well, he's right. I thought it was pretty interesting last night. He went on to, have this big self-congratulatory, back pat when he's got videos up where him and iDubbbz are using homophobic and racist racial slurs as a means for comedy. I don't think the members of his new group of people that he hopes to ingratiate himself to will think it's very funny. I'm sure he meant to also delete that video, but I don't know. For some reason, he just didn't. Maybe because it's one of the most popular videos he's done on that channel. Maybe that probably has nothing to do with it, I suppose. But I noticed that he didn't delete that. But he did go on to have this weird diatribe last night. Why can't I find it? Apparently I didn't have it up. Sorry. Okay, so he starts with, years ago, by the way, he's getting destroyed on Twitter over this. Years ago, I interviewed Jordan Peterson before I was very familiar with his politics. Let me be very clear. Ethan Klein knew his politics quite well when he interviewed him. Doesn't care. He's just pretending to be ignorant now. The reason most people in the United States knew of Dr. Jordan Peterson was because of his politics. He was an interesting guest who I enjoyed sitting with, but especially now, I can see that he's a dangerous alt-right, gateway to the alt-right, transphobia, and coof misinformation. I removed both interviews today. So stunning and brave, Ethan. Let's look at just some of the replies. The problem I see it is that listening to Ethan Klein is a gateway to, I'm not going to say that. That's a personal attack. You could see a lot of people in his comments wondering. Here's Angelo in here with 14,000 likes, writing, yes, his advice in your podcast with him, which focused on bettering your life, is truly dangerous stuff. How soon until your new zeitgeist determines whether humongous is too dangerous? You see Cat Leavings guy here, good follow on Twitter. I use the latest buzzwords, cliches, and boring talking points. I have no original thoughts. And here's Ralphie. I'm curious why you haven't deleted this video. And this, of course, it's his iDubbbz interview where he repeatedly uses the N-word and the F slur, as his new friends would call it, for comedic value. A lot of Clown World stuff. Here's Kim Iverson. Yay, censorship. I love it when you decide what's good for me to hear. How about Mora with 3,000 likes? That podcast episode saved me from a path that was ending to self-deletion. Because of that podcast episode, I'm now reading psychology and trying to build a good life for myself. Absolute shame on you for removing such a helpful tool because of a political agenda. If whether or not that's true, that's a sick burn. I mean, like, here's Lewis Brackpool. What happened to you? You've truly lost the plot. Then, of course, everyone starts putting up his N-word bundle of sticks rant on his own podcast. I want to be clear too, by the way. I don't think I'm not demanding an apology from him. I'm not demanding he delete any videos, but let's not pretend he really cares here. He's desperate for acceptance from this new, like, far left, emitting virtue signal, 1,700 likes, 1,900 likes. What the F happened to you, man? I mean, what did happen? I don't enjoy your content anymore, nor do I care for Mr. Peterson. But if you play the game of removing content for the mob, how long until you have nothing left? Well, what's interesting is the woke mob isn't demanding he delete those other videos. Don't you guys keep saying that echo chambers are bad and that diversity of thought is good? Modern book burning. The internet is filled with countless individuals who are willing to denigrate themselves in exchange for attention and profit, but few are as prominent as YouTuber Ethan Klein, aka H3H3 Productions. Ironically, Klein rose to fame on YouTube by making comedic videos about crazy, eccentric, or insincere people online. Yet, much has changed since the old days of YouTube, as has Klein. Since hitting a lull in his comedic YouTube career, Klein pivoted to podcasting and has hosted numerous famous figures, including Dr. Jordan Peterson, whom he had twice. This is via the Post-Millennial. The success of his podcast led Klein to collaborate with various leftist commentators, including Hassan Piker. The two now have a show together called The Leftovers. The evolution of Klein's politics is a metaphorical licking of the finger and seeing which way the wind blows. Well, that's true. In 2016, when it was popular to be, make fun of these leftist weirdos, that's what he did. Now it's, the progressive side of things is a little more popular in mainstream media, so that's what he's doing. I'm not saying that people aren't allowed to change their personal politics, though. You certainly are. Absolutely are. I mean, mine have definitely evolved over the years. The success of his podcast, yes, the evolution, blah, blah, blah. However, a new identity comes with a new audience, who may see Klein's old associations as verboten. Peterson is one such forbidden figure for Klein's new subscribers. He doesn't have any new subscribers. Like, his podcast is dead. Now, like, you only get, updates every 10,000. But let's look at his total subscriber addition. January, he lost 10,000. December, lost 10,000. October, that was December, lost 10. Then November, lost 10. October, lost 20. Big month in September, 0. Then August, lost 10,000. His podcast is floundering. I don't think he has a new leftist audience. I think the thing with Ethan that he doesn't understand, or he understands and he can't figure out what to do about it, is here's how I look at it. There are plenty of people that still consumed the H3 podcast and he hasn't created really any other content. Now he's doing commentary, shocking. But he hasn't. There were lots of people that watch his podcast knowing, that he is trying to reinvent himself as a leftist, and they were fine with that. He had a couple of, you'd have a cringe political take here or there, but largely they probably still found his show funny. But now that he's fully leaning into it, people are dipping. They're not subscribing. He's not getting positive press. He's absolutely peaked now. And he peaked maybe a year ago, and he's definitely seeing that in his numbers. I mean, the H3 podcast gets I can't really read this, let's call it 10 million views. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. 10 million views a month. I mean, I get 19 million, but nonetheless, I digress. Klein attests that he was utterly unaware of Peterson's politics, which is an insincere position, as Klein had outwardly praised Peterson in the past. He's an incredibly educated, well-spoken, and insightful person on pretty much every topic, Klein said in introducing Peterson. The love didn't stop there. In Peterson's next appearance, Klein said, "Today's guest is the great and wonderful, and one of our all-time favorite guests, Dr. Jordan Peterson, who has graced us with his presence yet again." Klein also lauded Peterson's book, 12 Rules for Life. I guarantee he didn't read it, but he said he read it and loved it. Nonetheless, the Ethan Klein of 2017 was no more, which is a disappointing shock to not only former fans like myself, but Peterson. Peterson writes, "What are you up to, Ethan? We had a good conversation. I enjoyed meeting you and talking with you. What have I said precisely that motivated your actions and your accusations? Deleting our discussion, an honest question. Finally, H3, you might seriously consider providing me with the footage so I can post it, given that I agreed to appear on your show based on the agreement that there would, in fact, be a show. Also, I should warn you that those who engage in cancel culture generally live to regret it. I'm not going to come after you, except politely in this Twitter stream, but the chickens will definitely come home to roost. You will be held to a higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standard by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you." And of course, then Andy No putting out newly surfaced video of H3H3 shows him using, it isn't newly surfaced. This is like years old. Everyone knows. I don't even care about it. It's funny. It's hypocritical. Additionally, Klein played a significant role in his humongous story when that went viral back in 2017 or 2015. It is perhaps not a stretch to also say that Ethan Klein of 2022 would likely be the subject of comedic ridicule. Why I can't read. By the Ethan Klein of 2016 that we all used to love. It would be a mistake to say that Ethan Klein has become radicalized, because it is fundamentally clear he isn't remotely literate in any leftist dogma, including the most basic of Pravda. Many of his fans have been quick to point out that Klein is incredibly impressionable and has likely adopted the beliefs of other bread tubers that he's currently surrounding himself with. "Your being white isn't a race, dip S," Klein told a fellow YouTuber who is denouncing racism towards white people. That tweet, of course, was now deleted, and Klein has never addressed the bizarre take, which seems to be a poor understanding of race in and of itself. Klein's insincerity doesn't stop there. Klein was evidently uneducated in leftist dogma when he accepted a challenge to debate conservative Steven Crowder, only to flee and have leftist commentator Sam Cedar debate for him. It is seemingly the case that when Klein is challenged, he resorts back to his ideological allies to explain his own dogma for him. This is why Peterson's earnest request to know exactly what his sins are will never be met with any truthful response. And that's exactly what I said. Ethan Klein has said, "Oh, your commentary on pronouns has led to a massive increase in phobia," with no evidence whatsoever. No evidence. Ethan Klein provides no evidence for his heinous claims. And, I see he's working on his new, he's working on a new commentary. He's got a nice little setup like me here. He's got, his Teddy Fresh. Happy for him. Make your money. Get paid. Simp for Pokemon. Good for you. You're no longer, you're just rudderless. I hope you find some direction, bud. I hope you find happiness. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.